Okay, we're a minute and a half in and we haven't started the video yet, as per the usual. So let's start the video.
And action.
Today we're going to talk about when I went to pick up this lovely Class B van.
And left me here all by myself.
I did. We're going to show you the walkthrough with the RV tech that the place we bought this from hired to come and show me how everything works. And it didn't really go quite like we had planned, or quite like they had planned. You'll see why. All right, guys, we're here at Fun Guys RV LLC, and this is what we're doing. We're getting that vehicle right there. 2017 Chinook Countryside. Doesn't that sound lovely? We weren't looking for a Chinook for sure. It's a unicorn, as I said, and we'll tell you all about that later. But we found this one. It's the Mercedes chassis with a Midwest Automotive Design build on it. So, we were looking for one of those. There it is right there. And we're about to do a walkthrough to check everything out. Mater's right there, and they're working up an offer, hopefully. Because if I could sell it here to these guys, I'll do that in a heartbeat. All right, let's go walk through that pretty thing.
There's quite a few little tricks in here I'd like to show you. One of them is how to open the sleeve.
Grab that.
That should be right over there on the side, I believe.
I thought that locked right in. There it goes.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, I'm short. All right. One thing I definitely got to stress for you, this is a diesel. This is on a Mercedes chassis. I have had people confuse this and this. 40K for the motor swap. So we've had 3 of them happen. So definitely be careful. If you got to put DEF, put it in here. If you run out of DEF, the coach will go into limp mode. If anything else, you can just use regular water. It's got enough chemical in there to trick it, but don't do it on it's emergency basis.
So let's dispel the myth right now. People have said DEF is pig urine.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
it's
why I said
synthetic pig urine.
Yes.
So I'm not going to pee in it, but I can pour a little bit of water in it.
Yeah, you can get you down the road. All right. Your Mercedes, you're going to have to take it to Mercedes, have all their services done. That's already been happened for you. So coach has been completely serviced. This is your coolant. This is your cabin air filter right here, where that's located at. All right. Your brake and your windshield. All right. Now, your air filter's in here. If you do need to jump start it, just push that back. You've got a ground lug or a positive lug here and a ground lug there.
Excellent.
So I've had customers attach that and we'll melt that as well. So I've been in it long enough. I've seen enough dumb stuff. So push it back, positive, and your ground lug, and you're good to go. Now, if you're going to put this in storage for any length of time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you come around to the side over here. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to let you get in the driver's door. I'm going to come around from the other side. You're in the military, obviously. I see your plate.
Pardon?
You were in the military.
I was, sir.
What were you in?
Army.
Okay. My brother was in the Army. I decided to go Navy because as soon as he got done with boot camp, they sent him right back here. I'm like, I didn't like that. I know what this looks
I
like.
don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, had I known, I'd have gone Air Force, but
Well, from what I understand, the Army does pretty well too.
They treated me well.
Honestly, I think all the branches treat you well as long as you put the effort in.
Amen. How long were you in?
I did 4.
I did 5, so.
I did 4.
Okay.
This is your macerator discharge. All right. This is your black valve open, your gray valve open. I always do my black first. Obviously, then I can push my material through it, and then I can use my gray water to clean it up after I'm done. You do have an outside shower right here. Now, what happens a lot of times, people will turn this valve off. They'll open up these valves, do what they got to do, shut this off again. They'll leave these open. Water acts just like electricity. It's going to find at least, resistance, and it'll be a mix-it valve. So a lot of times I'll have customers call me and go, hey, I'm not getting any hot water. What am I doing wrong? Go outside and close your outside shower. And then they look at me like I'm crazy, but yeah, it's your outside shower. You do have another valve right here or switch. This is for your LP on off. So if I click this off,
Okay. Gas is off.
shuts off your water heater, shuts off your furnace, shuts off all that stuff. This is going to be your service port for when you're filling, and this is going to be your bleed. Now, I will tell you, when you go to take this in to have it filled with LP, don't be that guy that's at the gas station smoking a cigarette. Make sure you turn all your appliances off. It sounds funny to say it. Your source of ignition's right there.
I get it.
So,
Yeah.
on, and then they'll fill it. They're only going to be able to fill it to 80%. Whenever this purges white, then it's full. All right? We're going to have these valves closed. Here,
Does the propane have any way to tell it's empty without
Inside.
running? Okay.
inside there's gauge inside. Right here, you have black and gray tank flush. So you can go ahead and wash the inside of your tanks out. Now, I will tell you, when you're doing that, you are going to be hooked up to a sewage station and discharging at the same time. All right? Right here, this is a little bit harder to see. I've got a 3-point right here with this valve laying horizontally forward. That is in a normal pump operation. 2 water fill. I'm going to pull this up. That's going to fill my freshwater tank. We're still going to be using this one right here. Okay, this is my freshwater fill. These are my black tank flushes. So you've got 3 ports.
Okay.
All right. So you can go ahead and fill it. Tank's about half, 3/4 ways full. We were running the appliances stuff the other day.
Good.
So, all right. And when you're hooked up at a park, you just like before, you're going to go ahead and use your water regulator at the bib, hook it up here, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
All right.
So that is up when you're filling the tank.
Yeah.
When you're using it, it goes back.
Goes back down normal operation.
Okay.
Like camping. And it's all laid out right here for you. Pretty simple, just like what you had before, but smaller.
And all in one place.
And
Yeah.
all in one place. What did you have before? You had an Airstream.
Yeah.
Why'd you get rid of that?
It's tough to whip into a place in a Airstream with that truck pulling it.
Oh,
We just
okay.
our last trip, there were so many spots where like it'd be nice to pull over there. There's no way we could.
Right.
So
That's funny because I've worked on people that own Airstreams. They're very particular about Airstreams. And if you didn't have an Airstream, you had an SOB, some other brand.
some other yep.
I was like,
All right. So that adapter that you're putting in there,
that would go right here on the end of
Okay.
this. So when you're hooked up to your dump station.
awesome.
You already know they put all new tires all the way around
They
on here
sure
for you.
did.
So you're good to go. This is your shore power cord. This is a 30 amp service. That is plenty big enough to run everything in the coach, including your air conditioning. If you do restrict this down to a 15 amp outlet, and I'm sure you know about all that kind of stuff, where then you can't run your air conditioner because it's only 15 amp. And even if you plugged into your garage, chances are you'll be tripping your breaker in your garage. So we've got some exhaust ports. Bottom one is your generator. This is an LP owning generator. It is actually cradled between the frame underneath. It's a bear to get to, but I do need to show you a few things on that.
All right.
One of them is where the breaker's at. It's not easy. All right. Your Suburban discharge. That's also your exhaust as well for your Suburban water heater.
Okay.
All right. Gotta be a little bit more patient, I guess. You have your receiver for DirecTV. If you guys want to go that way. I know a lot of people are going to streaming services. From what I understand,
Yep.
that's a lot easier. If you wanted to change this and maybe go with Dish Network,
Mm-hmm.
you can. You can get up on the roof, a couple of little dip switches in the dome, and you
Okay.
can run whatever service you'd like. You can run Direct Dish, Shaw, Canadian Bell if you wanted to. So that one works with all of them up there, that dish.
I'm telling you that dish will come off and a Starlink will go on.
There you go.
So that'd be good
Yeah, Starlink and all that is the way to go nowadays.
for sure.
This is all your 12-volt systems. And just like in your other trailer, most of your RV is relied on 12-volt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the air conditioner does run on 110-volt, the microwave on 110-volt. The TVs are on 12-volt as well. Okay, so everything's labeled. So obviously, you're just going to get some automotive users and you'll be good to go.
So one reason we liked this is it also has that 12-volt air conditioner.
Yeah. Yeah, the over-the-road. Yeah.
Love that. Okay.
Right over here underneath this compartment is actually where your water heater's at.
Okay.
Okay, it's right in there. So, and that's all been completely gone through in service. So, I want to show you where everything's at. You do get this little one to go with. So, if you want to plug it in and run an extension cord, you got it. The seat belts they never actually used them, so that's still in there from the factory, just taped up the way they came.
Okay.
Kind of nice. Yeah, when we went through the coach, it was gently used, if at all.
Yeah,
really.
it's surprising. We've only found one other unit like this,
Right.
and it's actually at Midwest Automotive being redone.
Really.
It's that, do you buy one that's unusual, or do you want something that there's a lot of, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Fortunately, it's a Mercedes with the Midwest Automotive, so. All right.
Right here, right alongside the fuel, the throttle. You push this down, pull this cap off. It completely disconnects the engine battery from the coach.
Okay.
This is for long-term storage. And when I say that, anything over 2 to 3 weeks. You're going to have parasitic draws, memories, stuff like that. But with that out, there's nothing. There's nothing.
Very
so I do
nice.
tell people that. And we used to go to a lot of shows, so we would do that so customers wouldn't mess with it. And it just snaps right back on. You can hear it click on. And then I should go ahead and be able to.
Nice.
So any long-term storage, push down, pull that out, comes out. Your engine battery is located right underneath the floor mat. So you got to pull all this up, pull it all out. There's a metal plate right here. Have the seat back. Your engine battery's here. Now your house batteries are in the rear of the coach, and I'll show you those when I get to those.
Okay.
That's going to be a little bit more fun.
All right.
Awning. One thing. Gotta have
that
show you
master
your
power.
switch on, yeah.
Okay. So when we tried the awning, we stopped it right there.
Right.
And does this have to go all the way out to come back?
You can stop it halfway, but you got to wait and then do it. You bring it back in.
Okay. Needs a little grease, but that's okay.
This is just a regular box of awning on it. Let me see if I have room because it's easy to push.
Look at that. So if we're driving down the road and we have the awning out,
Could be a problem.
we're stupid. Yeah. That's good.
Unfortunately, I've seen that as well. TV right here.
Okay.
So if you guys want to sit down underneath your awning, you can watch TV.
Do we know if that works?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we know if it works? Come on up. We definitely
Have
spend
some
time on
faith.
it.
Okay.
No, we definitely spend some time on these. Go through them quite regularly. So this is just an IR sensor, so you just point it there. You should be able to. do
Okay,
any of
for
your
the
connectors.
TV.
When you put your Starlink in there, they'll get to set all your stuff up with that as well. And I am going to bring the awning back out. Your awning lights work. Porch light. All right. You have exterior speakers.
There.
Okay. And then I can do an all light. Turns everything off, and then I can do all light.
And everything comes on.
Everything
Nice.
comes back on.
Nice.
All right. Now we do go through here and we check all our outlets with just a regular GFCI outlet breaker. The breakers for that, 12 volt is in the back rear. The 110 is center middle underneath the sofa.
Okay.
Come on up.
So there is a set of 12 volt fuses here. Can I assume that's for
That would be
the
chassis.
chassis? Okay. Good deal.
There's more
Ta-da.
storage. You got your front,
Of the
Blind.
windows.
all right, stuff like that. Your books. Oh, they moved them on me. Is it in this cabinet?
There they are. Okay. Yeah, this one's just a little
Little sticky.
stuck, but it does open.
There it goes. Okay. So I like to let people know that they've got all this stuff. If they need any of it, you've got all your information, your owner's manual, and stuff like that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. Two things I'm going to show you right now at the same time. We got our water pump switch on. That's obviously going to be delivering our pressure. So we have our on-demand system, just like on your coach. You have your water heater on-off switch here. This is what I want to talk about. This is kind of a pain. We have an on-off switch here. If you come over here, the black box with the 130 on it,
Okay.
that is actually your water heater temperature controller. You can turn this temperature down. Guess what you do get? You don't get any hot water. Or I can literally turn it off right here. Even though I have that switch on up there, No hot water.
Okay.
So why they put a switch on a switch, I'm not aware of. I'm sure they had a reason, but I'm going to go ahead and run this back up. So we got the water pump on. We got the water heater switch on up there. We got our water heater temperature turned up here.
So we're going to interrupt the video right here and say that is not what that switch is.
What is it?
It
What
is.
is that
It is
switch,
that switch does have to do with the water heater in a way, but it has nothing to do with that water heater that we're looking at right now, the Suburban on-demand water heater. The button that we're referencing is for the tank heaters.
Yay, tank heaters,
Yay,
which
tank
we thought we
heaters.
didn't have. We didn't know we had.
We didn't know we had. We've had this fan 2.5 months now and just figured out what that switch actually is. I knew we had water heaters when we got home and I crawled under for an issue that we'll talk about in the next video because I saw heaters on the water tank.
Right.
And the book says this comes with heated tanks. It has a heated freshwater tank, a heated gray tank. The black tank it's in the coach because of where the toilet is. It is
It's up under and
it's
tucked
above
in.
floor. It's not.
Are you saying it's right under the shower, the black tank?
I'm saying the black tank is over under the shower in that area. It is not hanging below the chassis like
Really?
the other two tanks are. Yes. So there is no heater on the black tank because it is.
Could that be
heated
why
internally.
somebody at one point took that panel off
It
there?
very well could be. No, not. The book said there's a switch right outside the shower to turn the tank heaters on and off. I never found one. I couldn't find one.
I mean, there's a lot of switches right
There
outside
are
the
a lot of
shower, but
switches.
none of them say tank heaters.
I was perusing the Midwest Automotive Design YouTube site one day and
As one does.
as one does, and saw what that actually is. That switch does not turn on and off the water heater. It turns on and off the tank heaters. So yeah, heated tanks. Mystery solved. Do they work?
We
I
don't know.
yet. I'll find out.
We don't know how to figure out if they work.
Well, I'm going to take my handy dandy laser temperature sensor tool that I had for the Airstream to
Oh.
keep track of the brakes and see what the temperature is, turn those tank heaters on, see what the temperature is a few minutes later. So we should have hot water.
Well, it's a on-demand system, so you're going to get a little bit of cool water at the beginning,
Okay.
and then you'll be able to run. This is going to be cool for just a moment.
Yeah, we don't have the on-demand in ours. It's a
Right.
19, so this will be new for us.
Well, the nice thing about it, as long as you have water and propane, this will just produce as much water as you want. And if you listen quietly, hear a small rumble.
Is that the pump?
That's the furnace on the water heater.
And there's the warm water. All right.
Now, I will tell you, if you have this hooked up to a spigot, the water is going to be coming through there a lot faster because the pressure is a lot greater.
Right.
You're not going to get the same hot water you will when you're running off the pump, just because
Okay.
it just needs that little bit of extra time to slow down and get hot.
So you have good water pressure, but you'll have a cold shower.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just like to let people know about that. That's a real common question we get as well. Why is my hot water not as hot on this versus that? It is just slow your flow. Just slow your flow a little bit. So if
Okay.
you turn the pressure down, you'll be fine. So let's go ahead and we'll do the shower. And then that way, like I said, I like to show everybody everything.
I appreciate that.
And I'll let you go ahead and go in there and run the water.
I'm just gonna.
Give me whatever you want to give me.
I'm gonna put that right there. Ooh, that's hot.
You have a gravity feed toilet. And I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, or you've ever tried it. You get done camping, you're going to have your cooler with whatever beverages you want to take with you. It doesn't really matter. Take your beverages out. Take your ice water and your ice and put it down the
I've
toilet.
heard that.
Works really well. And you can put a little pine salt, maybe some rock salt in there. The agitation of the coach while you're just driving really scours the inside of the tank. It works very well. So
Okay.
when we'll have problem coaches or something like that, obviously we go the normal route, just with chemicals and flush. 9 times out of 10 we go to that. It works very well.
I've never tried it. I've heard people do it. So
Yeah, works very well. Works very well.
Cool.
There is another company, if you're that guy, which is fine. It's Skip's Tank Repair, Tank Tech. And he'll come out and they can pressure wash the inside of the tank. And they'll tell you everything you don't want to know about the inside of your tank.
we have a friend who's a RV repair guy, and
What's his name?
Kevin Rogers.
Oh,
He just bought no locks. They do. It's all Airstream. They do the doors on on Airstreams are a big problem,
Right.
and so he's the door guy and adjusts doors and fixes all that stuff. But they've also he does the tank cleaning. He's got his own brand of lubricant.
Oh, there
he
you go.
does the air.
I think I've
filter
met him
things, and
before.
they're full time, and he has said the ice thing, and he also said when you're flushing your tanks, just get a 5-gallon bucket of water and pour it in that toilet to flush everything out.
Yeah,
So,
it does help. It does.
cool. Good to hear.
Well, at least I'm giving you good information.
You everything matches up so far with the little bit that I know.
Well, I've been doing it 30 years, and I've
Okay.
had people tell me different things, and I've tried different things. Mainly because from when I'm on a dealership lot, if something goes awry, dealership takes care of it. And you can simply say, hey, we're trying this out, seeing how it works. 9 times out of 10, they're pretty cool. 9 times out, you get that one time.
Yeah.
Don't do that again. But yeah, we get to practice these different techniques.
So do you have your own RV?
I do
business
this for
thing?
this company for about 30 years now, but I
Okay.
generally work for an RV dealership.
All right.
So I've worked for Camping World. I've worked for National Indoor. I have an affinity for the big buses. The big buses are fun. They're a pain. They'll drag you up the wall. They'll make you use language you shouldn't use. But once you figure them out, they're fun.
Cool.
They're fun. All right. Oh, you've got all your storage and stuff right there. Just more storage and stuff right here. Now this is a 12-volt refrigerator.
Nice.
So
Okay.
you don't have to worry about propane or anything like that. Now this is just like when we were kids. Remember your mom and dad when the power went out? What did they tell you to do? Keep the door closed.
Keep the door closed, letting all the cold out. Yeah.
I use that analogy with us because we understand it. This is going to come on and cycle as it needs to. So if you're just traveling, it's fine. If you're just boondogging, it's fine. It'll let you know what's going on and stuff like that. And obviously, you've got all your solar monitor and everything else right here. Now you can add to that system.
And will.
And okay, now I would check on this with this Go Power. Depending on how big a solar system you're going with, you may have to change out this controller. This is probably maybe only a 20 amp
Okay.
controller. You'll want to go with something bigger, and you're going to want to go with it's called an MPPT.
Familiar.
Familiar with it? Okay, so all right. I love it. This makes it so much easier. Go with the bigger controller. This does have 2 lithium batteries in the back corners, which I haven't showed you yet, but that's when we're going to be laying on the ground.
Do we know what the amp hour is on those?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I know I replaced them, and they were a lot of fun.
They're at least 100. We know
Yeah,
that.
They
Okay.
definitely have that. So you also have your inverter. You can operate this, obviously, whenever you want to. I do tell people when you're not plugged in, leave this in the standby mode or off, because whenever this inverter's on, even if you're not using the microwave, not using anything, it's still pulling
Still pulling.
a parasitic draw, and it will kill batteries. All right.
Cool.
Your generator. One thing about your generator, so when I push this down right here, all right, we've got a light on there. That light on there is telling me it's purging.
I don't know what that means.
Purge to remove any type of foreign whatever. So if I had a water line, I'd be purging air out of a water line.
Okay.
With LP, I'm purging air out of a thing. So if I were to run this generator out of propane, you'd come up here, you'd hold this down, purge it, and then you can go ahead and start the generator. All right.
Awesome. Okay.
Now, one thing on this generator, when it is starting, see how it blinks when it's
Mhm.
starting? Okay. It will tell you it's starting, and then when it comes on, it will run solid. One thing about the Onan generators, they're all the same. When I say that, is this is just a little 2500 LP generator. I could go to the 10,000 diesel generator over there, and they all have the same code. So when this is on and running, and I'm going to go ahead and run it right now because even though we're plugged in, we have a transfer switch. We're not causing any
Okay,
issues.
cool.
When it's running, it's lit up. If it does have a problem, the first thing you're going to notice, this generator is going to shut down, and you're going to get 3 blinks. Blink, blink, blink. Save our soul. I got a problem. Okay? What you'll do is just like I did, is just push down one time and release. You're going to get a 2-part code. I'm going to give you a code 36. So you're going to get 3 blinks and then 6.
Okay.
3 and then 6. Get on your smartphone, and all you do is just simply punch in Onan code 36, and it'll tell you it's out of frequency. And it'll tell you it is either running too fast or too slow, adjust this or that, or it'll give you a menu of other items that may be going on. It's also got a low oil switch on this as well. So it will tell you, hey, I'm running out of oil. Put some oil
Okay.
in me. So this is a very simple thing, but if you just get on your smartphone, punch in own code, whatever it is, 1436. I think they go somewhere up in the 50s, but it will tell you what's going on with the generator. Now, what I do tell people a lot of times, the generator's running. You had the airs on, everything's fine. Generator's running, you getting ready to go. You're gonna call me up and say, I got a problem with my generator. I'm not getting power out. First question out of my mouth is always, generator running? Yes. Second question, was everything working before? Yes. There's a breaker on the generator. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to be happy where they put it because you're not going to see it. It's a feel. It's a feel thing.
Okay.
Okay. If the generators themselves are running, they're doing everything they need to be doing. They're running at the right frequency, the right speed. They're putting out the proper voltage. Their world is happy. At that point, it's everything downstream from the generator giving you the issue, even including the breaker.
Okay.
So like I said, if
Cool.
the generator itself is running, generator's happy. The breaker would be considered downstream, even though it's part of the generator, still considered downstream from all the controls.
I'm with you.
All right. So we got that. And look at you got 42 hours on it.
That's
Yeah.
nuts for
So-
17.
Well, and that's
I
what's
mean-
crazy. That's what I tell people, they always ask me, well, why did they get rid of it? They get all upset. They buy into the notion that they want to do this, and then they find out it's a little bit more work or it's not as their thing. So
Cool.
you asked about your LP. There you go. Batteries should be reading full. Now, when you read this, there's two different things. There's one that says tanks and one that says batteries. So depending on what I'm doing, if I click here, I'm reading on my tank side, my tank
Okay.
scale. So if I come up here, still reading on that. But if I come over here to battery, still looks the same, but now I'm looking at C, G, F, and L.
Okay.
So charging, good, float, low.
Makes sense.
Does, but again, it's one of those things.
I like the capacities right there too.
Yep.
Cool.
Whoever had it before, they did a really nice job taking care of it. Beautiful coach. All right, come on down. This is going to be for your air conditioning and heat. Click, click. Now I can come over here and I can do modes. What do I want? This one will go either heat and or cool at the same time. Heat pump, so now I'm going to get hot air out of it. And I can just do a fan. All right. Now I do leave this down here in auto. So now it doesn't want to run the fan in the air conditioning because it's not seeing a demand. And when I say that is when you're running the heat pump, it's got to cool the compressor. If you're running the air, it's got to cool the compressor. But if it's not running either, there's no demand. All right. So
Okay.
I always tell people to leave the fan in auto. If you want to use it just to circulate air, you definitely can.
And there it goes.
Yeah. And I do always leave it in auto. So now I can come back over here. And do you know the difference between a heat pump and air conditioner?
I do. A heat pump uses the air from the outside to heat, and the air conditioner uses the air to bring across the coils to cool. I'm
Right.
guessing.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
you're very close. It's one component when you
Yeah.
talk about it, really. So, and this is what I tell people: you go outside, stand by your air conditioning in the summertime, you feel all that hot air.
Hmm.
But if I were to change the direction of flow in the Freon, now I can pump all that hot air inside, pump all that cold air outside.
Okay.
It's one valve, and $400 or $500. But we won't go there. So now I can go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and hit mode, and there's my fan, and you can run your thermostat up or down.
All right.
Now this is going to act just like your air conditioning at home. I'm going to turn this down so you can hear me on your video. Turn that off. When that comes on, this is going to run just like your air conditioning at home. We actually have 3 speeds on this. We have high, medium, and low. So I have the thermostat set at 65 degrees. What's going to happen about 72? It's going to start shedding from high speed fan to a low, or medium or low.
Okay.
Low when it gets within 3 degrees, and off.
Okay.
So in the morning, it will start just the same thing. I'm within 3 degrees of set temperature. I'm going to just use a low fan. And as the day progresses and gets hotter, then I'll go back to the high fan. So it does have its own logic. It will step it up and down as needed.
Nice.
Yep.
I like it.
But again, if you want to lock the fan in on high, medium, or low, you actually have that option.
Very cool.
Okay. The TVs are all the same, so you got no problem with there. And your DVD player and all your electronics will feed there, come up here. You do have this, which I do actually kind of like. Maybe you're a gambling man, you go out with the boys, the wife is at
Oh, I do
home.
like that too.
If she hears something, she doesn't have to get out of the vehicle. She doesn't have to get out of the vehicle. She can literally check her surroundings from the inside.
The front one looks a little crooked.
Yeah, we'll figure out which one that is, and we can probably adjust that. It's not a problem.
Probably.
So not a
Okay.
problem there. We do have the insert for this, which is actually
Insert
behind the
there.
driver's seat.
Okay.
All right. The bed, the couch. You've seen it operate before,
Indeed.
but if you stop at one point, then it'll go back the opposite direction. So nothing new there.
There's the.
This is all your main breakers. All right. And this controls all your 110 volt system. So
That's it right there. Cool.
110 here,
12
12 volt
back
on the
there.
backside.
All right.
All right. Now, you do have an LP detector right there, and you have your smoke detector.
All right.
Some ladies will get in here and get really after cleaning it, which is great, fine. Every now and then we have problems with the choices of material they're using, the chemicals. We'll set those off.
Yeah.
The other thing that will set
Okay.
those off is low voltage. So I'd
Okay.
like to let people know about that. I think you guys already come through here and played with all the shades and all that kind of happy
We
stuff.
did. Two of them weren't working when we were here.
And if you want to come right here, we'll
Nope.
go over this.
All right.
As we were talking about earlier, this is my water heater. Even though it says off here, my switch is on up there. The water heater is in a passive mode, and this does control my temperature. And if you want to impress your British buddy, you could go,
Pop over to Celsius.
you
Okay.
could do Celsius, and he'd understand that better.
I wouldn't then.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
I do.
You do have the over-the-road air, which you guys have also played with as well,
Yep.
from what I understand. You have no problem right there. And this is all part of that same system. So,
Okay.
oh, this is your heat. Excuse me. That's your heat, so you can run your temperature up and down. Right
Very
there.
cool. Okay.
You guys are all set. Do you have any questions for me?
No, very thorough.
Try to be.
Very, very well done.
Well, like I said, I've done it for a while. Now, I will tell you, your DVD player is actually going to be that.
Okay. So
And that'll
that
run
will
down
tie
the
into the
TVs.
TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Man, that's a tiny TV, but it's a tiny rig. Let's be fair.
Well, you can always change that up. And I have seen there is some wall bracket. They'll rotate 90 and then click in,
That's a good
and then
idea.
they come back out more full. I agree. That is kind of,
That's a good idea.
but yeah, they do have those brackets. What else can I do for you?
If you know, what are these on the dash panel?
Let's take a look. I will do my best. And if I don't know, I will tell you.
It is these. Because I know
Well,
that the,
looking at it, it looks like they're seat warmers.
see, I didn't think these had heated seats, but maybe they do.
I bet they do.
I bet you're right,
bet
because
they
that
do.
makes sense now.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
you know, for the sake of argument, and me not walking off with this key,
Let's
I'm horrible about that. I will admit it. I'm sorry.
well, let's accessorize and see if we can toast our buns. I didn't. That makes perfect sense now that
Yeah.
the little bacon sign is heat.
So I'll go ahead. Probably won't come on until the engine's running.
I'm gonna say I don't have a light there, so now I got a light. Okay.
Yeah, I got a light over here. All the way up is high from what I can tell.
I would assume that. For this part of the video, Chris and I crawled under and he showed me all about the generator. I don't have any audio on it because my microphone battery died. But there is a reset switch on the generator that's a little tricky to get to. He showed me that. We got a look at the batteries. I verified that they are the batteries I thought they were, 255 amp hours each. So with the inspection over, I took off and headed home in the van. And that's when we found out what I missed doing the walkthrough. And boy, it's a biggie.
It's a mess.
It's such a mess. and this is why you hire an RV inspector. I don't.
I mean, Chris is great.
Chris was great, but he works for them, and we missed a spot. We missed a spot. So
Pretty
you'll
pretty important spot.
pretty important spot. Oh, geez. So you'll have to tune into another video and find out what that is.
So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you'll get notified when the next video comes out when we tell you what we missed.
Yeah, what the crap.
Well,
man.
I didn't miss it. I wasn't there. I
I
had
missed
nothing
it.
to do with this.
Would have been a
I'm
much
sure
better
I would have.
inspection.
I would have
I'm sure.
asked.
Yeah.
I would have asked.
So that's a story for a different day. We'll see you then.
Bye.
How do you keep it from falling in your cleavage?
You squeeze it together.
All right, the camera is over here.
No, it's not. It's right there.
I'm going to look directly at us while I talk. This is what I do.
Yeah, because I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't either.
I don't even know what video we're talking about. Oh, the walkthrough one.
Yeah.
The Chris walkthrough.
Yeah. With her wounded knee.
My wounded knee.
You had quite a battle at Wounded Knee, didn't you? That's insensitive. Too soon. I'm just going to start over. Where were we? Wounded Knee, insensitive. Take 2. Well, when we get there, it's because he got that wrong. I don't know. I don't want to drag out the intro. I just want to get into, here's what we're going to do. And
Gotcha.
then we'll talk
Okay.
about what happened.
Okay.
Cool. Is that a good enough
I'm just
intro?
going to sit here.
All right. So I'm going to jump to that thing.
Okay.
Wherever the switch is going to be. In the chassis, in the body. Nope.
I have a question that does not pertain to this video.
Okay.
Have we told them that we've sold the Airstream yet?
I don't believe we have.
Okay.
When will we do that?
I don't know.
Maybe we can do a live and do that and announce the winner of the name contest at the same time.
Okay.
When are we going to do that?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right, so we know what that switch is. The rest of the walkthrough went pretty well.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't there.
Wouldn't know she wasn't there.
I was at home getting my own ice packs.
The lifetime batteries. And when it was done,
Our lifetime or the van's lifetime?
the battery lifetime, AGM batteries.
All good, man.
That's good. It just hit me. Hit me like a ton of heavy things.
That's it.
That's that one.
Okay.
Um,
What's another one?